Welcome to episode 3 of Unknown Secret Stories. This is going to be the third and last Antarctica one, just because it hit me in the head. I could go on Antarctica all day, but this isn't called Antarctica and wild, crazy bullshit beliefs. I have a lot of different things I want to go over, so without further ado, episode 3.
All is for entertainment purposes only and is not being presented as absolute fact. Please enjoy. Don't forget, use discretion. Reddit user shares his father's account while being stationed at McMurdo Station in Antarctica.
Oh, this was so interesting.
During the 1990s. Throughout his 11-month tour there, he was the only doctor that was actually at the site. As a result, he was required to go on the expeditions with the research teams and the military personnel, just in case any of them got injured on the job. When he first arrived there, everything seemed pretty normal. He went about his daily activities as a doctor as he would on any other military base. But that all changed when he started seeing bodies come in with peculiar injuries. As you would expect in Antarctica, many of the deaths were the result of hypothermia, but slowly more and more bodies came in that weren't consistent with hypothermia as cause of death. He started seeing bodies with deep lacerations in their abdomen and chest, or missing limbs. So naturally, he'd ask the soldiers that brought them in what had happened, but he was immediately silenced and told to write hypothermia as the cause of death. These were the first clues that told him something more was going on here, and it started to pique his curiosity. It was at this point that he began to observe his everyday activities, especially in the field, with much more intent. He started to pay more attention to his surroundings, especially when he tagged along on the expeditions. That's when he noticed on every expedition, they would take a 5-mile detour around a certain point south of McMurdo Station. What also struck the doctor as odd is that all the expeditions went to the exact same location, about 30 miles south and 10 miles east of McMurdo Station. When they get to their location, he was required to stay in the truck, so he wasn't able to see exactly what was going on. It was then that he realized he'd have to befriend somebody on the research team to find out more. So this is what he did. He befriended a veteran of the station, somebody who had been there for 10 years. And a couple months after their friendship, he asked, "Why do we detour 5 miles around this location every time we come out on these expeditions?" His friend turned white as a ghost, and he looked terrified. Told him to shut up and never ask that question again, and stormed off. His first idea totally backfired. Later that night, while resting in his room, he got a knock on the door, requesting that his CO had his presence. This guy was a hard-ass and was the commanding officer of the entire station. He chewed the doctor's ass, calling him everything under the sun, and told him to mind his own business or he'd be sent back to the States. At that point, Doc knew he had something. For the next couple weeks, it was pretty quiet around the station, until one night, all of that changed. Doc was just wrapping things up, about ready to call it a day, when his door flew open. There was a gentleman on a stretcher, being pushed by 2 soldiers. "Doc, we need your help. He's injured pretty bad." As he approaches the injured soldier, he immediately recognizes that he's not even a person stationed at McMurdo. He took mental note and started treating him. He had lacerations covering his body. "What happened?" he asked the soldiers. "He fell." He instantly knew, bull, no way. The reason he knew they were lying is because the lacerations were too clean. So clean that there's no way ice or snow could have done this damage. Nevertheless, he begins treating the man and trying to ask him questions, but notices that he's really delirious, almost in an anesthesia-like state. And as he's asking him questions, he begins mumbling something he doesn't quite understand. "We shouldn't have let them out. They were in the ice. We thought they were dead." And suddenly, one of the soldiers tells him to shut up and shove something in his mouth. He proceeds to put a gag around the soldier's mouth to keep him quiet, and that's when the doctor had to step in. "What the hell are you doing?" "Stand back," said the soldier, as he raised his M16 and pointed it at the doctor's face. The doctor couldn't believe what was taking place, and the soldier yells, "Treat him!" So, he wraps him up, and they send him on a plane to South America, the next flight. South America the next flight.
I don't even play ads.
After this, he upped his game, and he really started digging. When researchers weren't looking, he'd snatch their notes and go over them. That's when he first saw pictures of what he would come to call the Striders. He said they were unlike any creature on Earth, like nothing he had ever seen before. But even so, these were still just rough drawings in notepads, nothing definitive. One day, while out in the field, he even tried to corner one of the researchers, a female, but she quickly panicked and told him to stop asking her questions, stormed off. Once again, that night, while laying in bed, he hears a knock at the door. The CO was demanding his presence. And once again, he got his ass chewed, was called every name under the sun, and told that they don't want his type there. His commanding officer even told him one more slip up, and they're sending you back to the States. But at this point, the doctor was used to this, so he just took it and then went on with his day. It wasn't until later that night that he actually did what got him kicked out of Antarctica and back to the States. When he knew his commanding officer had gone to bed, he went back to his office, broke in, and found some documents in his desk. They were mostly pretty vague, talking about operations and the like, but eventually he stumbled onto something that caught his attention. It was a manifest requesting a pile of ammo. Now, why would they need this much ammo at a station where there's really no threats or nothing that could overtake them? On the continent where there's not even really supposed to be military personnel, according to the Antarctic Treaty. This was the evidence he needed to convince himself that he wasn't crazy. There is something more going on here. He placed everything back in the desk and went back to his room and went to bed. The next day he was called to the CO's office again. Yup, they caught him, and he was getting sent back to the States. Funny thing is, he was already pretty much towards the end of his tour within the last 2 to 3 weeks, so they just picked the same date that he was supposed to leave anyway. So at this point, the doctor didn't care what anybody thought. He went around asking everybody what was going on, what they saw, and he got a few tidbits, but nothing really concrete, until a gentleman named Cam Jones came into his office. Jones was a specialist in explosives. He was a Green Beret, but he was also slightly autistic. He was smart as hell and strong as an ox. The only reason he got through training was because he knew how to blend in. He could do a lot of things members of his team couldn't, but most importantly, he had a The only difference is, Jones had a conscience, and he felt bad for what he was doing. For that reason, he was approaching the doctor to see if he could help him, maybe act as a shrink for him or something. Well, it just so happened the doctor had a minor in psychology, so he agreed, why not? It's perfect, really. He lays down and confesses everything that's going on in Antarctica, and the doctor helps him through. And the CO gets a soldier. It's a win all the way around for everybody. Well, one night at about 2 a.m., the doctor hears a knock on his door. It's Jones. He has to see him right now. Piss off, the doctor says. I'm tired. Doc, I gotta talk to you. We have to talk. Please. The doctor could tell by the urgency in his voice that it was something important. So, he opens the door. He proceeds to tell the doctor one of the most incredible stories he's ever heard. It's 5 a.m. the previous morning, and Jones' squad leader wakes him up. Jones, get your ass up. We gotta go. He proceeds to wake up the rest of the squad, and they get ready, all 12 of them. At first, Jones thinks it's the usual, escorting researchers to a research station or something along those lines, but it wasn't. Instead, all the men went to the machine known as the Dakar. It's basically a tank that goes in the snow. It's equipped with all kinds of firepower, and a minigun at the top. Supposedly a demilitarized truck, but it wasn't. They loaded up their gear, and they took off towards the area that everybody avoids. When they get to their destination, all there is a massive office building in the middle of nowhere. It's similar to the one pictured above. They park and quickly push to the doors and head inside. What they find is absolute carnage. Jones goes on to tell them that there are Great Dane-sized arachnids, but not quite conventional spiders. They're actually somewhat alien, highly intelligent, and they're very lethal. They are tearing the place apart, and everyone in it. The squad moves in and begins clearing rooms out, when suddenly, one of them yells, He's being attacked by one of the smaller ones. They light it up, and they get him out of there. The rest of them continue on. As they're moving through the corridor, they notice that the names on the offices cover a whole spectrum of different ethnicities. Multiple countries were working together supposedly at this office. 2 more guys go down. They drag them out, and the rest continue. They push forward and head downstairs, where they find a massive facility, a lab, full of all kinds of equipment. The majority of the facility was equipment. Parts of these creatures were everywhere.
Oh God.
Some of them put in a
So it used to be
cryostasis.
German. I thought it was
They
my
were
guys.
floating type of liquid. While on the other half of the room, there was probably 50 or so cages, with 3/4 of them being broken open. Jones and his men were horrified. They instantly start lighting them up with their fully automatic rifles. It took them 18 hours of pure fighting to finally defeat the beast. And Jones goes on to say that there was a bullet train that went to the facility. He claimed that the bullet train went to every major city in the entire world, from Melbourne, Australia to New York City. From there, it even went to Hong Kong, China. It was highly advanced tech, and that it traveled faster than the speed of sound. At first, the doctor didn't buy it, but then he could tell by the way Jones was telling the story, he wasn't making it up. After everything's said and done, Jones leaves. The doc can't believe what he just heard. Over the next couple days, the doc kind of calms down and becomes somewhat skeptic of Jones' story again. 2 days later, he's set to leave the base the next morning when he gets a sudden knock on his office door. It's Jones. Doc, I gotta talk to you. Oh no, Jones. I gotta get ready. I gotta leave tomorrow. Doc, it's about the Striders. Oh, come on, man. Really?
Yes.
Looking down at his desk, writing something when Jones walks in. He seems to ignore him until suddenly, something lands on his desk. He looks up. He can't believe what it is. It's one of the limbs from the creatures. Alright, y'all, that was it. Obviously, for entertainment purposes only, I hope you enjoyed the story. I thought it was really intriguing. Regardless of any truth, obviously it's for entertainment purposes only. I'm not stating that it's true. I just brought the story to you, and I love to entertain you guys, so again, I hope you enjoyed it. We all know Antarctica stuff is always fire. People love Antarctica, and the stories always hit, so when I stumbled across it, I had to
Stories
share it.
always do what it does.
So after all this, his son actually finds the hard drives that his father used in his computer, his Apple IIe, while at the facility. He was trying to recover the data off them. Well, in the process, they were just too old. They were from 1988. So the last thing he says is that he's trying to take them to professionals to get the information pulled off them. Nobody's really heard anything back from him since. Nobody really knows what came of it. Crazy stuff, right? Now, obviously, of course, take this with a grain of salt. It is a Reddit story, but nevertheless, a cool story, and it makes one wonder, does this have any merit or anything to do with why they don't want people in Antarctica? Hard to say. In the end, the conclusion that his dad had come up with was that researchers
A lot of
actually
skiers and
found
snowboarders
these
do go to
creatures
Antarctica.
deep in the
Research
ice
teams.
in a
You
core
think they'd
sample
hear
they
more
took. Well,
about
they
these
thought
five-legged
they were actually
monsters
dead
if they were
because
real?
they had been frozen for 100,000 plus probably years, maybe millions. Of course, they wanted to get tissue samples and check the creatures out, so
I don't even
they
have a
thawed
scope.
out the
How
core
am I
samples.
winning off the
Well,
sniping battle?
they animated. And that's when these things started being spotted around the continent. What's more is it's believed that there are actually multiple different species of them, from Great Dane to human size to much, much larger. Crazy stuff, right? I hope you enjoyed the story. Stay tuned, stay in the love, stay in the light, keep on watching, keep on keeping on, be kind to others. I am out.
With that, I'm also out. Although things are getting pretty intense, so like that last video, I think I'm just gonna finish up this life, or this episode. Once I die, we'll end it. It's fucking intense. I picked up that other guy's rifle. Wow, man, can you believe I'm alive still? Now, not every person is a real person, but every real person comes with like 4 or 5 fake people. That's how this game works, if you were wondering. You get like a squad. Mine's already dead. It probably died a long time ago. And I'm just surprised I'm alive. That's why we're gonna keep this episode going. Just until my next death. I'm not gonna like... There we go. That's it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I don't even care if you say, like, I'm a fucking retard. Say whatever you want. Comment. Anyway, stay classy.